Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan, the Miyazaki Man Sai here, and today we're going to go through a comprehensive, detailed analysis on how Jurgen Klopp sets up his Liverpool team against any opposition. I don't think there's been any video that goes in depth on how Liverpool need to set up, all the thoughts and considerations that go into the coach's mind, the tactical setup, what to look for and what they're trying to do when setting up for specific opposition. Now, you could be like the bog standard manager, taking a swig, a bottle of water. 4-4-2 mate, off you go lads, do your thing. You look tired, bench, substitute, on you go, winning, yay, losing, what do? Substitute. Or you can be like them slightly more well-informed Liverpool football fans who know a bit about football, and they'll be like, yep, we need to set up at 4-3-3, we've had some success there, they figured us out. What do we do in terms of tactics? Look at the fitness, look at the form. Off you go. We've got our football manager arrows running from deep. We've got our form arrows on FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer. He's right bang on form, top striker. You're in trouble now. His first touch is going to be great. Press the shoot button. I missed. I lost 2-0. Save, restart, reload. Oh, it's real life? Fudge. Got to give them Wonder Kids minutes on the pitch. Reach their potential. 10 minutes here and their stats go up. It's a beautiful thing, yo. Who needs a Milner at last minute appearance bonus? What? Wasting my money. Or like some of my buddies on the couch next to me. Nah mate, he's crap. Start Nunes. Agent of Chaos, baby. I'm starting Darwin. Striker, mate. But what this typical level of lineup prediction misses out is the why element of why certain decisions are made, why you would make certain decisions. Obviously, we're not exposed to all the inside information the Klopp, the team, the coaching team, the background staff had all week in training, for example. We don't have all the metrics and we don't speak to the players, you know, in person. However, I'm hoping to give you guys some insight as to why Klopp makes certain decisions that is often baffling, but there's method in the madness. So as a casual Liverpool fan, it's often less of a head scratch and a headache to, you know, just go with the flow and go, line up, this is what we're going to do, hope we win, mate. Jota's going to score, Darwinho, 2-0. Or you can go best in class, Liverpool fan in Japan, top premium Hello Kitty. They've put the Liverpool football kit on an overexposed, overhyped little kitten here. You buy these expensive goods, the Japanese fangirls flock all over you. Hello Kitty, I digress. What am I talking about? But yes, you do want to be like Jurgen Klopp, the gold standard mug right here. That's some quality Java right here. Finest foreign goods shop in Japan, Kaudi Coffee Farm. This is some Tucano bourbon. No idea what that is. Sounds Brazilian, but yes, Jurgen Klopp. Enjoying a nice mocha. Okay, so how do Liverpool prepare for every different opposition? So there's a lot of things to keep in mind here. Liverpool being top tier, top echelons of the professional game, you're looking for those slight inches, those little pieces of advantages that you can edge your way to make sure the vision of the game is fulfilled, and crucially, the result is in the bag, you get the points and you climb up the table. It's similar to how Jurgen Klopp would prepare a season. Do I have all of the available tools in my squad to fulfill the function that I need to beat 19 other teams in the league, or at least gain more points or improve on last season where we dropped a point, where we needed the 3 points, turning a draw into a win, a loss into at least a draw, hopefully a win, and propelling yourself up the table, competing with Manchester City, possibly Arsenal as well, and being right there at the end of the season with a dash to the finish. So many things come into mind, right? The players you have at your disposal, their technical attributes, their mental attributes, their form, their fitness, their mentality, their courage, what they're likely to do in any specific situation. We're getting to granular detail here, but let's look at the opposition. So first of all, when you set up for a particular opposition, you can't set up the same way. Let's not look at Liverpool for now. Jurgen Klopp will be looking at an opponent and he'll be thinking, what are their win conditions? And win conditions are very important, because win conditions, whether it's in gaming or it's in football, are the scenarios and the opportunities that you need to create in a game, or as many times as possible, because they are your chances to fulfill the intended output to make sure that you have the highest chance to convert a goal, okay? So it could be, for example, the opposition fullbacks bomb forward. There's always space in behind, long diagonal in behind, your most effective player, shortest route to goal is cutting inside. Does that ring a bell over Trent Alexander-Arnold? No, I digress again. Or it could be the fact that our team are simply much bigger and more physical than the opposition. Could we bully them on set pieces? Are we playing for set pieces? Delivering the ball, winning the first ball, flick on, someone at the back post, driving in, players on the edge of the area? Does this keeper fumble long shots? In which case, one of the key conditions is actually winning the set piece to begin with. Who are our jinky dribblers? Who actually attract the most fouls? Who can shield the ball and win those fouls? Who can attract the pressure? Lucho Diaz, Thiago is very good at it as well. Nunez causing havoc, gets bundled over. Gakpo's pretty decent at it. Salah gets fouled, but the fouls aren't called against him. Complete referee bias, right? You have to look at these particular scenarios, win that free kick, win that throw-in. And speaking of throw-ins, we hired that throw-in coach, remember, about what to do in a specific phase of play, the area that a throw-in is taken from, the technique of the throw-in to get more trajectory and distance. It's not just about the length or the speed of it. Sometimes you put in a certain position which kind of forces your own teammate to take the touch in a certain way to facilitate the next stage, next phase of play. So a lot of thinking goes into mind about these set pieces to make sure you've got every tactical advantage and you can squeeze every single ounce of potential benefit for that system. The training could be directed at free kicks. Who takes the free kicks? Left-footed, right-footed, in-swinger, lofted. Many options, right? But set pieces is a crucial element of Liverpool and somewhere that we've improved dramatically over the course of the last few seasons. Our output and expected goal differential on these set pieces is miles higher than they've ever been, at least in my lifetime of watching Liverpool FC, and I think it's purposely thought out because our team is humongous right now. Van Dijk, Matip, Konate, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Nunez, Gakpo. Huge, very tall. And then you look at the other players who are good in the air. Diaz is good in the air. Jota is amazing in the air. Thiago leaps sky high. Endo is like an absolute salmon. All these players are fantastic in the air, and it's not by chance, okay? And in set piece delivery, Trent Alexander-Arnold, pinpoint on the button. I wish that he would, rather than hit it in a specific area, look for those curved arching balls from deep again. I know he doesn't quite get in that right half space position as much. He's more centrally involved to kind of play, make and drive through the middle, but those were a thing of beauty, absolute beauty that made me fall in love with Trent Alexander-Arnold's passing. Robertson is a great set piece delivery taker as well. On the run, he hasn't quite got the curve and the arch that Tsimikas has to drop it on someone's head, but he hits it into the right position as well. Then Szoboszlai is well known for taking a free kick, set pieces as well. So Gakpo actually from the from the left hand side, cutting in and delivering it across right foot, whipping in the balls as well. We have many options around the set piece, and this isn't by accident. This is a weapon and an asset that Liverpool can utilise, and it will be specifically focusing against shorter teams or teams who don't proactively defend a set piece, or maybe just not aware. Maybe some of the players are a little bit. So set piece is an easy win condition to describe, but win conditions aren't just as an overall team ethic. Win conditions can come in a personal duel as well. Lucas Leiva on David Silva. Can he track him? Can he mark him? Can he narrow down his influence? You play Dirk Kuyt to narrow the influence of Ashley Cole bombing forward, keeping him penned in, offensive threat, being in and around half space, diving into the area, keeping Ashley Cole as far back as possible. Specific win conditions can be there to be met on the field, and if you can create the win conditions for all those personal duels and all those facets of the game and all those technical arrangements, you'll come out on top. Mascherano, can he cage in Kaká for his influence on the game, box him in, not allow him to burst? Unfortunate that one. Mascherano off, Kaká running right. So yes, win condition. You have to look at the opposition and look at your win conditions. What are the conditions for your Liverpool team to get into that will maximise the opportunities for converting a goal? And then what do? You have to account for the situation when you're 1-0 up, when there's a tight 0-0, where you sustain an injury. You plan your substitutes in advance if the plan doesn't go according to plan, but you need a plan B, a plan C and a plan D as well. And when he looks at Liverpool's win conditions, he's got to look at the opposition win conditions as well. So what are they going to try and do against this Liverpool team? But sometimes with particular teams like Manchester City, for example, you know at a high level what they're trying to achieve. Haaland is by far their biggest differential. He is the goal threat. If he gets a chance on goal, his accuracy, his conversion rate is through the roof. Now, how does he get facilitated in that team? De Bruyne traditionally is the one that can penetrate with a run, penetrate with a ball, whip a ball in behind. He's a sphere of influence. Used to be David Silva, now Bernardo Silva in half space, Foden in half space as well. Grealish trying to get in and around the back, joining in, contributing small triangles in those half space areas. They no longer have Mahrez for that wild card factor. They've got a strong midfield. Rodri dictates play in the middle. You kind of have an overall idea of how they play and what they need to do. So you need to minimize the opposition win conditions as well as facilitate your own. And this is where the balance comes in, and you need the personnel and the position, the formation and tactical flexibility to do this. This is how you formulate the formation, tactical plan to stop the opposition, the shape that's needed in offensive transition and defensive transition, and basically All facets of the game need to be covered and understood by the players, and the players that understand it the best and have the personal attributes to fulfill the function to negate the opposition and facilitate your strategy, they're the ones that will start on the weekend. At least you'd hope so. Option on the bench as well. But that's determined by the formation that Liverpool use and the personnel that Liverpool uses. And this is why training is so vital, because every single day in training, Pep Lijnders and the team would have set up particular tactical drills to work on specific facets of the game to bring into the weekend match, to make sure it's in full effect, so your muscle memory takes over, you know your role, and you know what to do in specific scenarios. Dirk Kuyt put a recent article out, a recent interview, that says if we are 1-0 up, he reverts to a right back to cover, to keep it tight, not allow their fullback and a winger to progress. If needed, he can rotate from the right wing into centre forward position to try to hit those loose balls, any knock-ons, any kind of flick-ons. He is there in position because he has those forward attributes and instincts, which gives you an extra forward from the right wing position. He got on really well with Van Gaal. He got on really well with Rafa Benitez, okay? Tactical discipline. This is something you look for in a player as well. When a lot of managers are accused of going to their go-to players, their trusted players, when other fans can't see the value that they add, why is the flair player not on? Why is the form player not on? Why is the quality not there? There's a few things about player selection. So it's not just for the tactical fit and obviously the ability of the player in the position, okay? Sometimes in specific roles, they have to carry out the manager's tactical decisions on point, otherwise the whole system breaks down, and pressing is a vital component of this. If the forward or the front line cannot press or trigger the press at the right point and the other players aren't in position to follow that press, you've effectively wasted a press, moved yourself out of position, given the opposition area to move the ball into, and probably tied yourself out as well, losing some stamina there, okay? So, can the player, especially the forward player, follow the tactical plan on pressing the opposition, which is a big component of Liverpool's game, turning over the ball high up in the enemy third, because that is the greatest playmaker, as Klopp always says. Pressing, intensity, Pep Lijnders' book. Yeah, books are very, very good, by the way, for giving you insight into how the coaches think and what the teams particularly prepare for as well, and the players that they have in mind. This is why Darwin Núñez is trusted this season, because his pressing statistics, his understanding of the game, but also probably his English as well, has allowed him to communicate the pressing better to allow other players to follow. This is why Jota will always play impromptu games, because his pressing is on point, he understands the system, and he's a pressing monster, hence why we signed him from Wolves to begin with. So, going back into the point of tactical discipline, certain positions have more importance on tactical discipline than the others. You're looking at the number 6 role, okay? The single pivot is the most important tactical role in the Liverpool system, which is why Fabinho didn't start for many months and why Endo is struggling to start as well at this current time. It's because you are the last line of defense before the full brunt goes on to your defense, your final line, okay? You are also the one that needs to open up the positions for the ball to be pinged through from the back line into a number 8 or into a wing or into the centre forward as well. You've got to hold the line, the first line, before the offside trap. Additionally, you've got to position the other midfielders in a way that you formulate the triangle with either the 2 8s or an 8 and a fullback, or an 8 and a centre back, to close in to pen in an on-rushing striker or a Mazzala who's in that half space in the enemy lines as well, right? So your communication's got to be on point, your personal position's got to be on point, your decision making's got to be on point. But when you come to decision making, this is another facet of the game as well. In training and looking at your players close up as a coach, you know what they're likely to do in any given position. If a left-footed player is dribbling at you at pace, left-footed player, what are you likely to do? Are you likely to jostle them into your centre half, into congested space? Are you likely to shuffle them out wide onto the weaker foot? Similarly, if they're a right-footed player, these kind of decision-making elements are either decided by the coaching and tactical team in advance, or they're reliant on the natural decision of the player to make the right decision. And when you play with these players week in, week out, you build that chemistry and understanding of what they're likely to do. And this is especially relevant on both ends of the pitch. As a defensive unit, you know he's more likely to engage and push forward, which means I need to cover him, or I need to mark the on-rushing player because he's more likely to go to the player with the ball, that kind of thing. Or as a striker and a number 10, I need to play the ball a split second earlier into the space with a bit of curve, because my striker will bend his run instantly. Or another intangible attribute is their calmness under pressure, their composure, their leadership quality, their coolness. Sometimes you can't train this, you either have it or you don't. The leadership quality under the cosh. What do? Do you just hoof and boot the ball Carra style, or do you keep your composure? Do you draw the foul? Do you rely on your tactical ability, your technical ability to windle your way out of trouble? Still play to the strategic point that has been devised by the coaching staff. Alisson Becker under pressure, still playing it out from the back, give it to a full back, give it to a centre back, still instigate your trigger points, look at your win conditions, try to meet those, or you panic under pressure, do you hoof the ball, do you lose position, do you dive in like a dog and go straight and get a red card? You know, all these kind of things have their moments in the game, and in the game the tactical vision of the coach would have envisaged how the match plays out, what the opposition coach is likely to do, ebbs and flows, peaks and troughs of the match. You can't always have the ball all the time, what the opposition is going to try and do to hurt you. That famous Man City game where we started 4-2-4 with 4 strikers up front to try to absolutely nail City, long ball in and behind, 4 rampaging onto the back line. Unfortunately we didn't get an early goal. Man City adjusted, Guardiola adjusted. For the next 40 minutes or so we were under the cosh and did not have the ball, could not regain possession. We lost the midfield battle. Now we had strikers trying to do a midfield role. Surprise factor element worked, but we couldn't convert the goal. The ball fell to the wrong player. There's those kind of things that give you just a slight edge, and you take a gamble, you take a calculated risk on your strategy, and the personnel on the pitch to deliver your strategy, fulfill it and be clinical. And then if you go ahead, the whole game changes. A goal changes a game. This is why in betting, right, tennis is the only sport you can profit from betting, because every single point, every single rally, the markets change up and down, so you've got many points in time to hedge because the markets change, entry points and exit points. In a game like football, the market is constant, favourite, underdog until a significant moment, penalty, red card, goal, substitution, etc. Only then the odds change. And similarly, in tactical kind of flexibility and awareness, only major instance will allow a Klopp or Guardiola to deviate from their initial plan, because they would have thought out all the permutations, all the scenarios based on preparation, training, but also from their experience and what to do and what they think will give their team the greatest chance to succeed. Okay, it's not Klopp being stubborn and sticking to his favourites, it's Klopp devising a plan, sticking with it for the output that's been ratified and verified by his coaching team, good brains as well, and being flexible on the day to throw the plan in the bin if necessary, reconversate with the staff, use the eye test and based on his experience, and come up with the strategy, the tactical flexibility and substitutions to help win the game. All he wants is to win the game, and winning the game is very important in a coach's mindset, which is why you start certain players, you start stronger than you normally would, or with future kind of points in mind or future fixtures in mind. This comes down to fitness, form, confidence, etc. You may start a player on the bench, he might have more impact coming off the bench. Agent or chaos once again, but lots of facets of the game that you need to think about in formulating the formation, the personnel, the substitutions, and be tactically aware of what the opposition is doing and be flexible to adjust to that. And speaking of being tactically flexible, this isn't like the Liverpool 4-3-3 with the dynamic front three of Firmino, Mane and Salah fix their position with bombing fullbacks. Strengths, weaknesses, obvious to all, but this is the most fun midfield, and this is facilitated by our multifaceted midfielders who can do a bit of everything. Endo, Gravenberch, Soboslai, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Bajcetic, they can all do many roles within the midfield. Thiago Alcantara, how can you forget him as well? They have the passing, the dribbling, the playmaking, tempo control, the wherewithal to kind of know their role in the position, but also adjust if they find themselves in a different position, left hand side, right hand side, half space, Mezzala, Trequartista, whatever you want to call it, deep line playmaker, holding midfielder, anchorman. Any position in that midfield, you'd probably trust all of those players to some extent to fulfill a role. They're really, really quality. Lots of technical attributes, lots of intangible qualities, which means qualities that you can't count or see, but they have it. Tempo control is a very important one. A line breaking pass, lofted pass, lots and lots of qualities. Can they deliver a cross from out wide? Simple attribute, but can they do it? A lot of them can do it. This is very, very good for enablement of tactical flexibility. Klopp this season has gone into this kind of 3-4-3 box formation. Trent into the pivot, double pivot with Trent alongside a destroyer or ball player or tempo maestro, which is why McAllister plays number 6. He likes McAllister because of the distribution and the vision and ability to take the ball under pressure. Okay, he's fumbled it a few times, but he is one of our most technically proficient players with experience in Premier League of being pressured by that level and high ability and pressing ability of opposition teams as well. Szoboszlai can break the lines. He's got a great delivery, he's got a great shot, he's got a great engine. Gravenberch, we've seen what he can do in the last few weeks. Wataru Endo is actually quite well rounded as well. We'll see him come to prominence. Europa League this Thursday, it's going to be his big shining moment, I can tell, against Toulouse. Nothing to lose. Bad pun. Anyway, Curtis Jones is very important, massively underrated, but a first team fixture because he can retain the ball in any position and he finds the space, the half a yard. He's great under pressure, great with the ball at his feet, and he can go both directions, offensively, defensively. Transitionally, he's getting better and better as well. Harvey Elliott, a pressing monster. Bajcetic, a multifunctional midfielder, huge talent, very, very young as well. There's so much talent in this midfield, which enables that box 3, but also 4-3-3 traditionally still allows our fullbacks, who are still deadly, one of the best pairings in world football. Actually, we've got a triumph in there with Tsimikas being left back as well, and Gomez is very solid as a functional defensive right back who can be a pseudo Trent because his delivery and ball playing skills are actually improving. Note that when he replaced Van Dijk, he was the one that got all the balls and play made from the back. Additionally, Quansah coming to prominence as well. Lots of these youngsters coming through gives tactical flexibility, like Ben Doak on the opening day against Chelsea, because they would have no idea what threat he poses. Unfortunately, he didn't get the ball enough to do his thing, but this tactical flexibility allows Liverpool to have many points of attack, many transitions in offense, many styles of play, and many patterns of play. It's not just out wide, Mane, Salah, go, attack, Firmino, dropping back, pivot, off Firmino. It's not a target man to head the ball, Heskey to Owen, Crouch to anybody. Now, Liverpool have so many options to attack and to hurt you, and even better, if you don't have the ball, you can't do anything and you're just waiting on Liverpool to either score a goal or lose the ball. Okay, and that is Liverpool summed up in one sentence. It's basically playing along the back, waiting for the openings, popping it into midfield, rotating until you've got an opportunity for a trigger point for the ball to be popped back to someone who can play the deadly ball, whether it's Trent, whether it's Van Dijk, Thiago, whoever. I think this Liverpool team are a universal threat for every single team because there's no way to really adjust for the formation that Liverpool are going to play. You have a vague idea, you know what the players themselves can do. Van Dijk, Trent, Núñez, Gakpo, etc, etc. Salah, maintaining his numbers, his statistics, a constant threat. Lucho Diaz, despite not getting the numbers of assists or goals, as some people would be complaining, is a constant threat with his pressuring, his directness and his style of running, which allows Liverpool to give him the ball in full knowledge that he's going to be doing something that moves the opposition out of place, which creates opportunity. Controversy creates cash, controversy creates opportunities. This is unfortunately why things like war, there's some benefactors here who are playing, on devil's advocate and benefiting from people suffering. Let's not go into that. But the fact that you can't tactically plan for Liverpool's offensive transition, the personnel and the point of attack until you actually see it on the field, how they line up and what they do in certain situations, means that we are a universal threat. And with every single match, there's not a match that I would confidently say that the enemy, the opposition, are going to batter us or are going to win. We're going to give anybody a tough match on the day because this Liverpool team is brimming with confidence and potential and form. This is Liverpool 2.0, baby, under Jurgen Klopp. Back to his kind of tactical awareness and flexibility. He has all the cards and options on the table. We're a little bit lucky with injuries, touch wood, except from Thiago, because he would have added the ball playing tempo, deep lying playmaker, transitioning the ball breaking ball. Very, very good player. I love Thiago. Silky never can stay fit, but yeah, I still like Thiago. Apart from that, we haven't had many major injuries. We've had a lot of red cards, which is unfortunate. And that comes into tactical planning as well, because obviously you can't account for a red card and you can't account for that potential player that you penned in for that role or that function in the future fixture. But Klopp and the team have to adapt. And that's what he's paid the high bucks for, right? The fact that he can come up with the right strategy to win a match or give Liverpool the best opportunity to win a match with the personnel and the formation, adjusting on the day. This is why coaching is so fun, so fascinating, and such a head scratcher. Coaching is an underrated ability because the ability to not coach, not in the traditional sense of motivating a player and geeing up a player, come on son, it's more like helping them to understand what they need to do in all facets of the game, in all situations of the game, to carry out the plan that has been set to allow us to get the 3 points. There's actually so many more things that I want to say, but I know this video is rambling on. But I tell you what, if you've watched it this far, thank you so much. I need 4,000 watch hours to get this channel monetized, and I think that allows live streams and other things, interaction, which will allow me to cover the 3 PM kickoffs and the other Liverpool kickoffs. Let's watch it together. Let's have good fun. Let's go with banter. Liverpool fan in Japan, Ichiban. And if you do like these in-depth detailed analysis videos, let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to cover. I am planning to do a video on all of our different tactical variations, the strengths and the weaknesses, and how our personnel fit into them. The 4-3-3, the 4-2-2-2, the 3-box-3, etc. All the different transitions that Liverpool put in mind. I find it really fascinating. I look in depth at the player positions and what they do off the ball as well. Let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of content. Until next time, Jane, Mantane. Gambare Liverpool, keep safe, keep warm, keep happy. Miyazaki man, Ichiban. Until next time, hope you guys enjoy watching the Reds win as usual.